One of the greatest guys I've ever met.
All right, Max, your intro is rolling right now.
Can't see it on the screen.
20 seconds.
Super fucking human. He just doesn't go up. He doesn't
I got
quit.
your countdown. Don't
He's
worry,
one of
Max.
the most
Just
well-known
focus
salespeople
on
out
me.
there. Sales trainers in the fucking country.
Everybody's
Very
good.
impressive guy. Give it up for my guy, Max
10
and
seconds.
CERRADOR. Jimenez, baby.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
He's one of the
and
greatest guys I've ever met.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Closers Lab. You know what we do here is we call sellers live. We also break down deals, and we also invite you to collaborate with us. Just want to remind you, this is a live show. Remember that. We're not uploading recorded calls. We're not doing any of that. And the reason I want to remind you is that way you can participate with any questions, any comments that you might have in regards to the calls, some of the strategies that I use on here. I want to invite you to participate. So don't be afraid to ask any questions. You guys know that I don't back down on any of your comments, any of the questions. I want to help you out so that way you get an understanding of my approach, right? Because a lot of us have different styles, and basically I want you to understand why I say certain things on the calls, why I use certain tactics, and I want you to leave today knowing without being confused about a certain thing that I said. The other thing is that the only thing I ask, we don't charge anything for the show, right? We ask that you share this live with someone that you think that needs to, basically get better at closing. You know, someone maybe it's a business partner, maybe it's a friend. Share this live with them and let them know that we're live. We're gonna make some calls. We got some great calls set up today. And tag someone. Hey, I think you should check this out. We do this to give back. We're more than glad to do this we want you to get better. We want you to get better at talking to sellers. We want you to get better at doing the things that are necessary for you to get more deals at the end of the day. Now, the other thing I want to do as well is I want to give you an update from last week. Now, it's all good and dandy, right? We do a lot of calls, and some of you guys are probably, well, what's happening with some of the people that you talk to? So really quick update on two individuals that we talked to last week. Bobcat, we found out that it's a deal. We're basically going to get the agreement on Monday. We're going to follow up with him. And then the other gentleman that had the big compound that we recommended him to talk to one of our agents, she actually went out and got the listing agreement signed. So we're pretty stoked. So today we're looking forward to see what today brings. We have some great calls for you. In regards to, talking to sellers. So again, this show is live. Participate, ask questions, comment, and make sure that you're sharing, liking. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe. And that way you can, make sure that you get alerts when we go live. But let's get started. Let's do what we do on the show, which is talk to sellers. We actually have a seller that's, waiting for our phone call. And again, guys, I want to encourage you to ask questions, and I want to encourage you to make sure that, you guys are participating as well, because you are part of the show. And like I said, I want you to leave better, at least 1% better than when you came in to watch the show. That'll help out a lot. And let's see, we got one person that we want to call right away. Let's see here. So this one is actually a deal. It looks like it's in, let me pull it up really quick. So this one is actually, it's a property out in Georgia. So we're going to call this seller that's out in Georgia. And let's see if we can get a hold of her. So we have the call set up already. Carlos, our lead manager, already set the call up. So we're going to call her. It looks like she's trying to sell. Anyways, let's call her and find out what's going on. So this is an interesting call because on the very first call that we did, this is our third show here on the Disruptors channel. But the very first call that I did was we talked about scorching the earth, right? I talked to a seller, and scorching the earth is basically putting, letting the seller know what to ask for when they're talking to other buyers. So that way, when it comes to the closing table, or when it comes to closing time, that they don't get left at the closing table. And I believe this is what happened to this seller, but let's find out. Let's get the story, and then let's see if we can lock this one up, and see what we can do. So let's go ahead and give her a call right now.
Hello?
Hello, Robin.
Yes.
Hi, Robin. It's Max. I'm calling you because you had spoken to one of my team members, Carl, about your property.
Yes.
Okay. That ring a bell?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Probably caught you at a bad time.
No, you're fine.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure. Yeah, so like I said, my teammate Carl, gave me your information. He passed on some notes as well that I have here on my system. And, obviously the notes don't always tell the whole story. And is it okay if I ask you a couple questions just to catch up a little bit with the notes that he put?
Yep, you can ask me a million questions if you want.
I don't know if I have a million, but I might have maybe 900,000. No, I'm just joking. Joking. So really quick, Raman. So one of the things he mentioned to me, and what he put on the notes as well, is that it looks like the property that you have. So this is two properties on the same lot, or is this two different properties?
It's two properties on the same lot. So one's 209, and it's the big house. That's what I call the big house with the 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And then the in-law suite or the rental unit, however you want to look at it, is the 211. And my driveway is a wraparound driveway, but there's a parking pad or not parking pad, but a parking area for the 211. So it would be a shared driveway, but they have their own place to park.
Got it. Okay. No, that's perfect explanation. I appreciate that. I wanted to get some clarity on that because there is two different addresses, and that happens sometimes, right? You'll have a parcel, and then one can be facing east, one can be facing north, and things like that. So, okay, perfect. And so he mentioned too as well that one of the reasons that you were looking to sell was because obviously it sounds like you have some tenant situations going on, and then you have some plans, I guess, to buy another property. Is that right?
Well, what had happened is I used to rent out the in-law suite or the rental, whatever you want to call it, to pay my mortgage. It paid my mortgage every month because my mortgage was fairly low. But what happened is every tenant the first set of tenants I had were here for 4 years, almost 4 years. But they didn't take very good care of the place. They did pay their rent. So when I went in to go behind them, it wasn't, it was a bad deal, but it wasn't as bad as the last two. The last two renters I've had when I tell you it took me 2, 3, 4, 5 days to clean out their garbage and get rid of everything. And then there's a hole in my ceiling over there. And it's where they were going to put in an exhaust fan and they never finished it. And, just things like that. It shares water, but that can be remedied by just adding an extra meter. The address is already there, and the cutoffs are already there. So
got it. Okay.
Anyway, so when they didn't pay their bill, the electric company came out and took the meter out. And when they did, I found out that there was electrical damage from a storm that I didn't know had happened. When the storm happened, the main house got fixed because the mast got pulled down when the tree fell. So the in-law suite needs repairs, and I've been honest with everybody about that. It needs new windows. It needs to have some inside repairs done, and then it needs the electric. I had all that price with the deck and everything, and it came into between. A rough estimate was between 5,000 and 7,000, and the 7 was on the high side. It wasn't. It wasn't like it was $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Nothing like that.
Right. Well, I mean, man, it sounds like they were fun tenants. Wow. Sorry to hear you had to go through all that, but I always tell people that I've talked to in the past. They usually say, I want to keep it and rent it. I always ask the question like, I don't know if you have had rentals before, and if you're only looking to have 1 or 2 rentals, I said it's great for the short term, but as things get, things happen, and you're obviously experiencing that right now. Things can go sideways, I guess, for lack of a better term. They can go sideways pretty quick. And it's interesting. You said one thing about they came out and took the meter out. They don't actually lock it. They just took it off completely.
In Georgia, they take it out, and so you get the repairs done. Or you pay the bill.
Oh, I see. Got it.
And in this case, it's just the repairs being done. The bill they took care of, but eventually. But now it's just the fact that the repairs need to be done. And the reason that I'm selling if I had the money to put into it, then obviously I would, and I would go ahead and rent it back out. But I had people living here with me in my big house at one time.
Mm-hmm.
But I went through a divorce, and now it's just me and my brother.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have a need for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath,
Mm-hmm.
upstairs, downstairs house for just me and him. I want to
Yeah.
downsize. Honestly, I'm thinking about, I had, excuse me, I had an apartment already picked out. I was under contract with this moron, and
Wait a minute. You were under contract already to sell this property with someone?
Yes, I was, but
Oh.
he backed out at the last minute, like yesterday last.
Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, So I thought he was buying it for himself to like he's an investor. So I thought he was buying it for himself to do his own renovation. And then he was going to either sell it to someone or he was going to use both houses as rental income. I didn't care which one he did or what he did. But that was the way he made it sound to me. So he made me an offer really close to my 180 that I want. And he said, okay, this is what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. You'll have like 2 weeks to get all your stuff out. And so I thought we were closing in 2 weeks. And
yeah, you thought it was done. You thought they were going to make it happen. And okay, go ahead. Tell me more about that. What happened?
So then he comes back and he says, we got to the 15th of we went under contract on March 29th, I think it was, or 30th, somewhere around there. And he came to me and he said, around the 15th, when I thought we were getting ready to go close, because I had never done this before other than buying a house. He says, oh no, I haven't even started the closing yet, but I found a buyer to buy in with me. And I was like, what? And he said, I'm probably going to have to, amend the contract or something. I said, well, if you amend it to go lower, you can forget it.
Yeah. And, wow. So he called you to get so basically besides him not obviously buying the property, he make up the story that he had a buyer. And then also he comes back and asks you for a price reduction.
He was thinking about it. Yeah, he kind of hinted to it, and I stopped him in his tracks. So then when it got closer to the time, I kept telling him, I am looking for a place. Will you please tell me what is going on?
Yeah.
And he wouldn't answer me. So I lost out on 3 different places because I couldn't give them an answer.
But I'm assuming you probably had like what, a $5,000 non-refundable earnest money on that?
Nope, he put $250 down.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, see, and like I said, this is my first time doing this. And then he comes back yesterday because we were supposed to close today. Like I still have the email from the closing attorney. She sent it on Tuesday and said, we need to set a closing date. I have the title clear and everything is ready to go. And so then yesterday he comes back and he says, well, the buyer that I had in place backed out. And I was like,
wow.
The buyer you had in place, what are you real estate agent or are you an investor?
Yeah,
are you
direct buyer.
What are you doing?
That's terrible.
Yeah, and then he says, well, I talked to 2 other people and buyers as well. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so he led me along for an entire month.
Jeez. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. And it's something we're seeing, unfortunately, in our business. When I talk to sellers, and a lot of times what happens, I'm going to share a story with you. This happened to Stacy a while back. Same thing, right? I was talking to Stacy just like you, and she wasn't under contract. So basically, she's like, Max, are you looking to get the most? Or are you looking to get an offer you can depend on? And obviously she's like, asked me, well, was there a different? And basically what, she went with, long story short, she went with the highest offer. And I told her to look out for certain things, and I don't think she asked for that because what's happening is that people are getting these properties under contract, and what's happening is this exactly what happened to you. They're not the buyer, or they either come and then try to get a price reduction for absolutely no reason. Which this is what it sounded like. Is that what happened? I mean, what was his justification for the price drop?
Oh, the price drop was huge too. And we're not talking like if he would have come back and said, okay, I got to go down $5,000. I would have probably said, 99% of the time, I would have probably said, okay. But the fact that he wasted my time, that factored into the fact of I'm not going to say okay.
So when you say it was huge, what do you mean by that?
He went from 170 down to 130.
Wow.
And really only wanted to do 125.
$40,000 2 days before closing?
Yep.
How did you feel about that?
I'm the easiest going person in the world till you make me mad.
Yeah.
And,
No, I get it. I mean, that's terrible. That's really terrible.
yeah, and then he wanted to list me on what did he call it? The investors program or something, where he would be like my agent. And I'm just like, dude, I can do this myself. You know, if I wanted to hire somebody, I'll go find a real estate agent who I'm going to pay $10,000 to, probably in commissions, to do it, or I can do it myself. I found this house on Facebook Marketplace of all places. The guy that sold it to me did not have it on a realtor, did not have it listed.
So it was owner when you bought it.
Right.
Yeah. So, Robin, so just kind of recap here what I'm hearing. So obviously we know that you're wanting to sell because obviously there's a lot going on with the property itself, you know, with tenant situations. It sounds like you've already know what it's going to cost to make the repairs. And, you know, obviously it sounds to me that maybe that's a little bit more than what you're willing to dish out for it. And that's why you decided to sell and you went under contract with this individual who obviously sounds like he didn't know what he was doing, you know, and that's terrible. You know, you sound in really good spirits, you know, in regards to what happened, but that's a very bad situation where he came back and tried to price drop you $40,000. I mean, you know, with all that being said, is there anything else I'm missing on there? I mean, besides what you shared with me, that anything else you would like to share with me in regards to selling the property?
I mean, I don't know what all Carlos and Jessica told you, but basically, I put a brand new roof, brand new windows, and sliding glass doors on the main unit. That has a lifetime warranty on it, and it is transferable to one owner. So if whoever buys it gets that transferred to them.
Okay.
And then if anything happens, I don't care what it is, you won't have to pull your homeowner's insurance out for those things, because I've had screens replaced, I've had stuff that had to be done, and you just call them up, give them the contract number, and go from there.
Yeah.
And,
okay. One thing I want to clarify is that there is a note on here that says that you're looking to maybe pay off your primary residence. You have another property that's a primary residence?
The 209 is the primary residence. That's what probably confused them.
I see. Got it. Okay. Yeah. He didn't specify which one it was. So, and then that one you owe, it looks like you owe what, 75,000 on it?
No, I owe $92,700. I think it's $711.76 or.
Got it. Okay.
$712, somewhere around there. And then I have a $2,000 loan that's attached to my property somehow, but
I see.
It was getting paid off anyway. So.
I see. Okay. So we know that obviously, you know, the bank's not going to let us not pay that, right? So we know that we have to pay the $95,000, obviously, and then and you know, besides the bank, the $95,000. What is that next check, or who is that next, bill or thing that you have to write a check for? Who would that be? What is the amount on top of the 95,000?
Nobody. There's nothing else left other than it comes to me and I want to pay off my debt.
Got it. Debt?
Yeah, I want to pay off my debt because I went through a divorce a few years ago, and I'm looking to downsize and clean up my credit and do all those things so that I can live better and not paycheck to paycheck, you know?
Yeah, that's good. You know, it's, you sounds like you've been through a lot, and you sound in very good spirits, and man, you know, usually when I talk to someone and they're going through all these things, it's usually a different tone, and, you know, that's kudos to you for keeping up those good spirits and staying positive of all this. So that's it's a breath of fresh air, because like I said, when I'm hearing a lot of these stories, you know, especially with this individual that, you know, that contracted the property and walked out, and then obviously what you just shared with me, I know it takes a lot, and I appreciate that, you know, for sharing that information. So then so just out of curiosity, ballpark, you know, off the record, you know, how much more, like on top of the 95,000, what do you think that debt is total?
Well, my debt that would be total would probably be about another $25,000 I'm going to pay off of my car, my debt, and then I want to have money to put into savings so that, when I do get ready to buy a house, because I plan on renting right now. When I do get ready to buy a house, I have money to put down, because I don't want to. I mean, I can use my VA loan again. Yeah. But I don't want to walk in there with no money down and be paying on something the rest of my life. I'm 51 years old. I'll be 52 this year. Right. If I'm going to buy a house, I want to do like a 15-year mortgage and then have enough money to where every time I get paid, I can put a payment towards that interest. So
Yeah.
towards that principal. So
Got it.
You know-
When you said you want to put money down,
mhm.
what are you looking at? So hold on, I'm sorry. Let me back up. So 95,000, and you said the debt was like how much? 12,000 or 10,000?
No, 25,000.
Oh, 25,000. I apologize. So then right now we're at 95,000 for the mortgage, give or take, right? And then ballpark you have debt of 25,000. So right now that puts us at $120,000, right? And
Right.
so all right, so we know we have to pay off the mortgage. Obviously, the bank's not going to say, "Hey, Robin, don't worry about it. We got you." And then we have the 25,000. So basically, it puts at 120. So, what on top of the 120, what would you feel comfortable walking away, knowing that you had that you didn't have to pay any money out of pocket to sell this to me?
Another 50,000.
Okay, another $50,000.
Yeah, that's how I arrived at the 170. I actually said 180 to start off with because I like to have a little bit more than a little bit less. But you know, if I'm being fair and honest, that's where he came in at was 170. So I'm not opposed to staying at 170.
When you say that's who he came in at, who's that?
The guy that backed out on me.
So you sold it to him for 170 and he couldn't buy it and he backed out.
Right.
Yeah,
and he was willing to do it. You know, like I said, the other two realtors I talked to as well, because I talked to two realtors, and you know, both of them, when I told them my price point, you know, one had suggesting putting a little bit of work into it and putting it on the market for 210 and seeing if it moved in 6 months. And I didn't want to wait 6 months because now I'm already packed. You know, it's like I'm living out of boxes now, so I don't want to unpack and start all over again. And I think honestly, for me, the longer I stay in the house, the more I'm not going to want to leave it. I mean, I didn't want to leave it to begin with, but things in my life changed, and I just feel it's time, you know, to make that change. And if I don't, sometimes, you know, it's like losing weight, for instance. If we don't go with the change when we say we're going to do it, we don't do it. You know, we skip right on over it. And
yeah, no, I get it. How can I share with some you probably don't want to hear, Robin?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if 170,000 he didn't buy it at that, it's probably gonna be a little high for me, and I don't want to do the same thing he did. Right? I know you've been through that already. So knowing that, what do you think about that?
Well, all you can do is give me an offer, and I can tell you yes or no. I mean,
okay, got it. So I'm trying to look. I'm looking right now as I'm speaking with you. That's why I'm having these pauses, because I'm trying to do a little bit of research on the fly here while I'm talking to you. Let's see. So I do like the fact that it has two properties on the lot, because a lot of these properties that I'm looking at only have one. And I mean, the area seems to be really nice too, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and I'm really close to downtown. See, downtown's your moneymaker. The Broad Street, if you're out in Arizona, so
yeah, correct.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so
we buy nationwide. I'm here in Arizona, but yeah.
Okay, so Broad Street is the street that is like where everything happens. It's where all the parades are. It's where all the get-togethers are. It's where all the shops are. People don't like going away from it because it's so convenient. And where I'm at, you can literally be to your grocery stores, to Walmart, to restaurants, what I call Restaurant Row, because it's all that's on it is restaurants and a grocery store and some shopping centers. So all of that, I'm within 10 minutes of everything in every direction. If I get in my car right now and want to go to McDonald's, I'm 10 minutes. If I get in my car and want to go to Kroger, I'm 10 minutes. If I get in my car and want to go to the gym, 10 minutes. I get in my car and want to go to Home Depot, 10 minutes. You know, everything around me, Broad Street, 5 minutes. Parade, 5 minutes. I could literally walk. Most people do.
Sounds like you're trying to sell me to buy it.
I am, but it's only because I'm telling you.
No, I appreciate you sharing that, because that's very important when it comes to making a decision. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very transparent. You know this, right? The way I approach things, and So one of the things that I always get to find out is, and you obviously gave me your number, which I appreciate that. But what I always tell people is, especially with the scenario you gave me, I mean, what would you, if you were to say like, Max, I want this deal to get done. I mean, what would be the lowest that you feel comfortable selling, knowing that you didn't have to pay anything out of pocket, it was net to you, and we can get this done, and you choose the closing date?
Gosh. I guess I really hadn't gotten past that number. Maybe 165 is the lowest I would probably go for anyone, honestly, to be 1,000% transparent and honest. I mean, that way I'm walking away with at least close to what I wanted to begin with. I'm down, some from what I wanted, 15,000 from the 180 I wanted, but I don't want to go any lower than that, because I have, honestly, like I was telling Carlos, I have looked in this area at houses, and I don't know what makes people so proud of their roof caving in and floor buckled and no cabinets, no refrigerator, no washer, no dryer, which in my case, washer dryer is pretty much brand new. It's staying here. Refrigerator and dishwasher staying here. They don't have any appliances in these places that I look at, and they're talking 200, 210. One place was, I promise you, literally had holes in the roof, and they said investor special, 225,000, and it only had an acre of land and was nowhere near any of these places that I just mentioned to you. Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, really, okay, well, so. And way less square footage on the house, and most of them are one bathroom. I have two, and like I said, I have a rental property that whoever buys it, even if you rent it out both places, you're talking really good numbers. Yeah. For both places, easy 800 on the one bedroom, because that's what most of them are going for around here, and they're right now in the condition mine's in. If I just had the electric turned on tomorrow and didn't do any repairs, I could probably still get $750 out of it, easy. Just because people around here are begging for a place to rent. When I tell you they're begging, begging. There's waiting.
Yeah, and that's the case right now. I think a lot across. I don't disagree with you on that. Even here in Arizona, right, the rental market is pretty. It's tough right now to find a rental, but I get that. So then the lowest you would feel comfortable selling, knowing you didn't have to pay anything out of pocket, knowing that you can choose the closing date. And obviously, we don't want to create a scenario that happened last time. Is $165,000.
Right.
Okay. Okay. And then I don't know if I can do that, but let's pretend I was able to do the 165.
Okay.
You would pay your own closing costs from there?
No.
So on top of the 160,
pay anything. I don't want to pay anything out of pocket. I wasn't going to pay anything out of pocket with the 170. And like I said, I think the only reason he got himself into a pickle and realized that he couldn't do it was because he didn't have the money to do it. There's a difference between somebody telling me I've got the money. I know, there's a difference between you and him is what I guess I'm trying to say. And
yeah, no. And I get that. And I love the conversation we're having. And, honestly, I think that situation, I don't know what happened. And, obviously I'm not here trying to create that situation. And that's why I'm asking these questions, because I could have easily said, yeah, let me give you 170. And then obviously, and if something happens, then I don't want to put you that scenario again. And this is why I'm trying to kind of, cause I'm, I really haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen the property. And so I'm a little lower than the 165, but I want to work with you, and that way, that's why I was asking if at 165, if you would be open to do the closing costs, and I feel a little more comfortable paying the 165.
How much is closing costs? Yeah, that's what I don't know.
anywhere between $1,500 to like $2,000.
Oh, well. Yeah, I could probably do that then.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I would want some time to think about it. I'm not going to jump on it right this minute and say yes to you, but I mean, I don't see a reason why I couldn't. If it's $2,000, I'm not gonna pass up something for $2,000. I just I want to make sure before I have someone that I talk to who is my financial advisor, as I call them, and I feel like I've tried to stand firm on my 180, my 170, and I barely know you. And honestly, the reason only reason I'm given a concession in on the 165 is because of Jessica. Jessica had kept in touch with me the entire time from the word go, and that's the only reason I'm even considering the 165 is because of her.
No, and I totally appreciate that. Honestly, Jessica, she's really good. She's she actually came to us a while back, but you had already went under contract, and I do appreciate that. For considering us, and I did want to ask you, just out of curiosity, what would you need to see or hear to make you feel comfortable doing business with us?
I would need to see some proof of funds because you're in Arizona, and I don't want to get bamboozled. I mean, just to be 100% honest with you, I could be lying to you right now, and you could be lying to me. But I assure you, it's like meeting somebody online when you dating profile.
Well, here's the thing: the difference is that you can Google my company, and I can assure you that you can look at our reviews and you can make a decision on. You can make a decision on the comfort level that who we are, right? We have an online presence. We have Google reviews that we've helped so many people. And I'm not here to talk about us, but in case you wanted to do that. So I hear proof of funds. Is there anything else that you would need to see to make you feel comfortable doing business with us besides the proof of funds?
I've just obviously a contract and something showing how long I would have to, move once we closed, and just guarantees that you're not going to come in and take my property tomorrow.
Yeah, of course.
I signed today and I have to get a house, and you come in the next day, because I have seen that happen online quite a bit. There's some pretty bad horror stories, so I don't want that to happen. Of
course. All right. So then what I'm hearing is that if I can get you a proof of funds, obviously, and then obviously we don't handshake anything. Those are the long guy buy days, right? It's not about handshake now. It's not what you say, it's what you put in writing. So the other thing too is that the other thing too is this. What I want to do is also, when we send you the proof of funds, I'm going to send you a link to our reviews, just so you can, read our reviews and hear what other people are saying about us. And so that way, you get a little more familiarized with our company. We are in Arizona, of course, but we do buy properties nationwide. Our central hub is in Arizona. I mean, it sounds like, so once I provide you those things, I mean, it sounds like you feel comfortable maybe, putting things in writing.
Yeah, I mean, once I see those and once I see everything, then I don't think there'd be an issue. Since you guys are out of state, how would closing work and things like that? So what would happen is I have my transaction coordinator, Brittany. What I want to do is get you on the phone with her next. And then that way you can meet her. She'll tell you everything about the process. We have a whole team behind us. So I have my transaction coordinator, Brittany. We also have my finance department, which is Lena. They're all gonna, basically, she'll send you the proof of funds. Brittany will walk you through the paperwork and answer any questions that you have. And we just have a whole team that basically will walk you from step A to step Z at the end. That makes sense? Yeah, that makes sense. I know for here where I was going to have to drive to, another city. In the area.
What we'll do is Brittany will find either a title company or attorney. I can't remember what Georgia is, if it's a title company or attorney state, but we'll find an attorney, and then what we'll do is we'll work with that attorney so we can make this as convenient as possible for you. In regards to getting a what is it called, a notary to come to you if you feel comfortable with something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have two attorneys here that I trust.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And so
We can meet there. You can meet the notary there if you like to as well. And that way, if we want to use them, we could use them as well too. So, okay. So what I'm hearing is that, so what I'm going to do next is that, do you have a couple more minutes so that way Brittany can give you a call and talk to her?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So then 165, we'll put that in writing, and then we'll send you over the what is it called, the proof of funds, and then Brittany will tell you what the next steps are. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what I'll do is stand by your phone. I'm gonna have her. Actually, let me go ahead and give me 1 second here. Hold on, really quick. Okay. Bear with me.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get her on the phone.
Hey.
Hey, Brittany, I have a seller here that, give me 1 second, okay? Hold on, I'm going to bring her in. It's her name is Robin. Hold on. Hello, Robin, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So, Robin, I have Brittany on the phone. She's our transaction coordinator, and what she's going to do is she's going to take basically she's going to take over, and she's going to get your information in regards to, like, obviously name, the other thing is your email address, and then basically she's going to send over what you need. And Brittany, this is Robin. Sorry, I should have introduced you first. I'm bad at that.
Yeah.
So Robin, meet Brittany. Brittany, meet Robin.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yep. So any questions that you have, she'll take care of you. And do you have any other questions for me, Robin?
Other than once I speak with Brittany, then I'm not under any kind of contract until I say yes, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, she'll tell you how the process works, and then obviously, no. Right now, we're just having a conversation, and then she's gonna let you know how the process works, the paperwork, and get that over to you. We just need a little bit more information from you so we can get that done. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Brittany. Make sure that you take care of Miss Robbins because she's been through a lot.
Absolutely, will do.
All right. Thank you both.
Thank you.
All right, you guys take care. Bye.
Bye.
Whoa, let's go. Guys, that was a really good call. Obviously, a motivated seller, right? Those are far, few, and between. But guess what? We got her. Man, you guys are blowing up the chats. You guys are blowing up the messages. I appreciate it. And it looks like you're getting a lot of value from this. Man, that was crazy. Got her. You guys saw, right? Like, it's, even though she was motivated to sell, we still need to basically dig into the pain. We got to get her emotionally involved back into this. You heard one of the comments she made was, the longer I stay in this property, the less that I want to sell it, right? The longer I stay here, the less I'm motivated to sell this property. And it's true, right? Because the experience that she's having with whoever that wholesaler was, obviously he didn't know what he was doing. The 165 is actually a decent price. I looked at the areas while I was talking to her. It's a really good rental market. Rentals in the area go anywhere between, just for one unit, anywhere between $1,300 all the way up to $1,500. So it's a really good rental property. Guys, this is the first call that I did on the show. Remember when I scorched the earth with the gentleman that was actually talking to somebody that was there at his property? This is why. You guys just heard and you got to experience what is happening to sellers and what they're doing with sellers. And basically what I'm trying to tell you is, when people get mad at us, people always try to say, well, I think scorching the earth, what you do, that's not a good thing for the community. And I understand it puts people on notice, right? And this is why, because of what happened to this lady. She's getting a 40,000. She's the whoever had it under contract came back to her and said, I need to get a $40,000 price reduction, which is terrible. And basically, I mean, and left her on the closing table. And again, I had to bring that pain back up, right? Get clarification. And she's talking to my transaction coordinator right now. She's going to make that happen. Obviously there's some questions she's going to have. I think once she talks to Brittany, Brittany will get that clarified. One thing I didn't do after I hung up is get that final commitment. I didn't do that. But again, sometimes I miss things, guys. I'm not perfect. Sometimes things happen when things are moving pretty quick. I could have what I could have done was get a little bit more hard commitment from her, because you heard her statement at the end. Once I talked to Brittany, that doesn't mean I'm under contract, and I had to tell her no. So, but man, you guys have a lot of questions. Let me see if I can get through all the questions before I get to the next call, because we have another call. Let's see. Oh man, where do I start? Let's see here. Let me go back here. I'm going to go back to the top, I guess. Corey said, so excited. Listened to last week's and was so impressive. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate it very much. Harvey Martinez said, let's go. Max and CERRADOR Jimenez. Hope you're doing well. I appreciate it, hermano. Thank you. Flipping AZ. What's going on, Flip? King of Closers. Good stuff, brother. I thank you. El CERRADOR in the house. Thank you for that. Real Estate Way. Ken Fulton said, I look forward to these lives. Let's go, baby. Report. Yeah. You guys saw it right off the back, right? Report. Cash offer made said rental paying past, present, and future. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. A lot. Let's see. Jermaine said, let's go. Playing no games with sellers, closing on them on a high level. Exactly. Jermaine Warfield says, stop him on his tracks. Let's go. Carlos said, digging the pain. The doctor is in the house. You got to navigate it, right? You have to do that. You got to navigate it like a doctor. Let's see. Jessica said he locked it up too high. I think, I don't think he locked it up too high. I didn't sound like he knew what he was doing. He didn't have a lot of, connections and relationships. So hopefully we can do that as well. Evan Lane said using third-party stories. We always do. We always use a third-party story because we don't ever want to apply the solution to them. We want to use a third-party story so they can imagine themselves in that solution. Evan Lane said, these wholesalers are sad, man. Shaking my head. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That's why Scorch the Earth works really well. Really, really well. Felipe Bruno said, just marrying her with the word debt. Got so much more info. Ha ha ha. Yep. That's what it is. When she said debt, I'm not going to guess how much debt there is. I'm not going to guess. Like when they make a statement, I want to get clarification. I'm not trying to play the guessing game. I want them to tell me what is it that they're saying when they either say, when they're making a statement. So, Felipe Bruno said, Max, a professional. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that, Felipe. I appreciate that comment. It means a lot. Evan Lane said, always ask what they want in their pocket after the mortgage is paid off, other than going from the ARV value. Guys, I've said this so many times. Everyone that's watching this is, if you can get to a place where you can negotiate from what is owed and not from what the property's worth, I can tell you right now that life's going to be a lot easier. Now, it's easier said than done, but if you can get to that level where you can do that, you're going to get a lot better at negotiating. You're going to get deeper discounts on the properties, because now it's not you trying to knock the what they think their house is worth. It's now more discovering, right? Discovering what they need if they have a mortgage on top of the mortgage, what they want to walk away with. So if you can get to that point, it's basically, it's a good strategy. So Claudio Diaz says he made her say the guy backed out, labeling at a high level. Yeah, bro. Labeling. I love labeling. It's my go-to. So let's see. Jessica said figured ARV was about 240. Okay, perfect. Juan Zook said true definition of listen more than you speak. Respect. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I'm gonna hop down because some of these I want to get back on the phones, but I'm gonna go to Corey. Let's see. Corey says, yeah, money talks. It's so hard to compete with the jackwagons that make these high offers and can't close. 100%, bro. I agree. I understand your frustration. I'm going to hop down to Haim. What's up, Haim? How you doing, bro? Thank you for tuning in. Haim's my buddy. Haim said she's in full selling mode. Yeah, it's a motivated seller. But here's the thing, right? We have a strategy that's called the pendulum, right? There's 3 o'clock and there's 6, or sorry, there's 3 o'clock and there's 9 o'clock. 3 o'clock is super, 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 super positive. And then 9 o'clock is super, super, super negative, right? What do we have here? We have a 3 o'clock, which is super positive. We got to get her closer to 6 because 6 is neutral. You don't want to get her all the way down to neutral, but we want to get her off. We want to make sure that we put her through the process so she doesn't back out, so she doesn't actually, what is it called? Doesn't seem like we're moving too fast. So that's why we have to dig in the pain, because she is definitely in full selling mode. David Navarro said, levels to this. The precise ways you pick out the words to say or dig at it is impressive. What do you mean by? Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Jonathan James says, I sense Max is the real deal. This guy knows how to sell. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. It's just experience and basically practice. So thank you for that. Matt Smith said, and he said paperwork instead of contract. Very good observation, man. Very, very good observation, Matt. We never say contract. We never say contract because contract means commitment. It doesn't matter if you're signing the contract or you haven't even gotten that far yet. If you can say putting it in writing or agreement, if you feel comfortable putting things in writing, what would happen next, right? You want to stay away from the word contract, because who uses the word contract is the industry, is sales industry. We want to stay away from that word. Let's see. I'm going to move down to Corey says, Corey says, Max, so obviously the price didn't change much from the other guy. Do you think he's just a newbie but didn't have been? Yeah, I think that's what it is, Corey. Honestly, that's what it is. I'm going with that because I looked at the rents, I looked at the ARV, I looked at the area. There's no reason why that property shouldn't sold. I just don't think that guy, whoever had it in a contract, knew what he was doing. So, and then I'll answer one more. Let's see. Matt Smith say you control the process well. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. So. All right, so let's thank you guys for all your comments. Again, this is a live show. Make sure you're commenting. Make sure that you're asking questions so that way I can answer your question. Let's go ahead and call the next person and let's see if we can have a conversation. Let's see. So it looks like the next person we're going to call is Paige. Let's see what's going on with Paige.
This is D. Hello?
Hello, may I speak with Paige?
Yeah, this is him.
Oh, hello, Paige. How you doing?
I'm sorry, dude. This is my work phone. I apologize for that. I didn't recognize the number.
Oh, okay. Probably caught you at a bad time.
No, go ahead and fire away, my brother. Were you supposed to call me? Is this Max?
Yeah, it's Max.
Okay.
It's Max. I'm calling you because you spoke to one of my team members, Carl, and he had mentioned that you were, maybe potentially considering selling that property over at North 69th Street.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Carl told me a little bit about what your goals were, and he left some notes. Now, the notes obviously don't always tell the whole story. Is it okay if I ask you a couple questions and just see if it makes sense?
You can ask me anything. I mean, he was telling me my house was worth so much. I mean, I don't need the sell down price. I'm pretty. Am I negotiable? When people are sticking money in my bank account for deposits, then I know you're serious. But I want to sell. I'm boxing up. I'm ready to leave at this point, probably by June 1st. Because I don't think you can get a deal done by May 1st, and I'm not going to fork out another mortgage payment and then just eat it. So that's where I'm at right now. And if our numbers, what are your numbers? Because I know you investors want to pay wholesale.
Wholesale?
And I want to make money. Yeah, for the houses. I call it wholesale, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the lowest price you can pay. So let's talk.
Okay. So what do you want for the property?
I told him $650.
$650?
What I'm asking. Yep.
$650,000. Okay. Let's see. And sounds like you're pretty firm. You wouldn't even look at any other offers besides that.
Well, would I negotiate on a telephone?
Oh no, it's just
You
a
haven't
question.
seen
We're
the
not
house.
negotiating.
Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah.
hey, dude, I'm just saying, yeah, if you're serious, anything is possible.
Well, I mean, we haven't even talked for 5 minutes, so how would you know I'm serious? Just out of curiosity. I don't even.
Because of if you would be setting up an appointment if you were serious, like everybody else is.
So here's the thing: we don't buy every property from everyone, right? We talk to that we can't
Yeah,
do
I know,
that.
bro.
And the only way,
and if you can't cut, and your buyers, you're only got so much money. You look at the books. I'm cool with you, dude. I'm not trying to start a problem. I'm just saying.
What I was gonna say is the only way that I could the only way I can find out if there's a property I'm gonna buy is by asking questions. I don't typically just
you can ask me and I'll answer anything. It's just, dude, I got some of these people, and man, they're just flakes. And I just want to weed those people out, to be honest with you.
No, I get it, man. I get it. And I'm not here to, again, like I said, I'm very transparent. I don't buy every single house, right? But also, I'm not in the business of just, if I don't know what I'm getting into, I'm not in the business of just like,
of course.
Yeah,
of course. Ask me what you need to know, and I'll fire away. I'm sorry. I'm just.
No, you don't need to be sorry. You don't need to be sorry. It's okay. We're trying to understand each other. So typically, you sound like a straight shooter, which I love. Typically, what I like to do is basically a lot of times people want to know like all the details, but since you're a straight shooter, do you want me to get into all the details or just give you like bullet points?
Yeah, just shoot me straight ahead.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, because I don't need to hear, if it's redone. I mean, that's the pitch. So basically, I don't need to hear the pitches. I just want to hear numbers. I'm a numbers guy.
Sounds like you've been talking to other people, man.
Well, yes. I do talk radio. I don't know if they told you that. So
yeah, he did put that on a note. Which radio? What radio do you talk on?
I'm out back east right now. I'm on about probably 85 channels back east. We used to be broadcasting at a KF. Yeah, we used to broadcast at a KFNX, but they threw us off the air out here in Arizona.
They threw you off the air?
Now we're just. Oh yeah. So
how come?
I do political talk radio.
Oh, okay. Got it.
You can only guess why.
So
you can't tell the truth today or you get thrown off radio stations, especially iHeart and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're more interested.
You know how it is, man. The truth is a lie and lie is the truth now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They look you right in the face and lie to you, and, smart people like you and I, we see they're bullshitting, but there's a lot of dummies out there, and it hurts people like you and I.
Yeah, no, for sure, especially when we're trying to do things the right way. How long you been doing that? The radio? You said how long you been doing that?
Almost 8 years, man. I was a professional musician for 35 years. I toured with major bands, and so I got to my age and said it's time to calm down. That's why I'm kind of rough, man, because they say shit. You get in, and some guy was saying, "Oh, you had the candy-coated life, man, because you played music and all this bullshit." I got fucking ripped, dude. I got ripped off when I was in my early 20s on contracts.
Wow.
Because we're kids, we don't know, but you learn.
Yeah, you're just looking at the lifestyle and the traveling and stuff.
Yeah, and it's great. Don't get me wrong, you live like a king. But then when you start looking at what your agents are making and what producers are making and what you're making, it's a whole different story. But, I always used to, and I tell people this to this day, you got to pay your dues, and that's called paying your dues is learning. And then once you learn, and if you can sell, and selling is what you're doing, what I do on the radio every day. I sell every day. I head up, basically right now, I head up the sales department.
Do you? Okay.
For a lot of the commercial stuff, because, a lot of people are afraid to close $200,000-$300,000 commercial deals, or even your type of deal. There's a special breed of person that can go out and ask for that kind of money.
Of course.
If you don't make that kind of money, that's the first sign you see when people are afraid to ask that kind of money. They've never had that kind of money.
Yeah, it's a mental block, right? It's what you've learned as growing up and stuff. It takes a lot to get over that. So it's interesting. There's a book that talks about that, and everything has something to do with sales, regardless. Because whether you're trying to sell your kids to go to university, whether you're trying to sell,
Exactamundo, brother. Yeah, you're talking my language. You're selling when you go to pick up on a pretty young lady.
Yeah, there you go.
And hoping to God that you're going to get her.
Yeah,
it's the truth.
I mean, unless you're only talking to like gold diggers, then that's different.
Yeah, then you should hopefully most people can figure that out right away, man.
Yeah, you would think.
Because they are rude. I've been married to my wife. Thank God for it. She didn't like my life. That's why I married her. She didn't like the music industry, and I kept my family kind of out of it.
Yeah. I could only imagine.
Business, brother.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, not only with the money, and I have all daughters.
Oh,
so you know,
okay.
You got to watch out in that line of business, dude. Why do you think God gave me women? So watch out for the one.
Yeah, no. Well, I appreciate you sharing, man. That's awesome. I love, you know, I do.
So now you know at least a little bit where I come from, brother.
No, yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that. I do podcasts as well on real estate and talks and stuff. And obviously, I also buy houses. That's why you and I are talking. So I love that. And so what's the next step for you when you sell this? I mean, you're gonna go back to New York and do radio, or what's going on?
I have a couple of different opportunities in different states. Mm-hmm. The way I do it right now is I basically do it out of one of the rooms. I had it converted into a studio, but I broke it down because we're going to sell the place. Mm-hmm. But I've got a couple of places, and it's basically wherever my wife wants to go at this point, and she doesn't really know because I got like 4 or 5 places that I can actually where I'll be able to go into the stations. Maybe I don't want to go 5 days a week, but maybe 3 days a week. It's a lot better when you go into the station. Sometimes it makes you feel good. Oh yeah, it's a different vibe for sure. I mean, you know, I there's like you're saying, right? There's times when you work from home or you do things from home. It's just definitely nice to go in and get out of that and get into a different vibe for sure. Yeah, it's a totally different vibe when you got the whole crew watching you versus when I'm at home, I press a couple of buttons and you're on the internet, and that's about it. I mean, we don't do internet. I'm not on, but I mean, you do it through the internet. Got it. And I don't show my face anymore. I always tell everybody I'm old and I got the radio face. Better. Was it? Yeah, the radio face behind the microphone. I've heard about that. That's funny. You're funny you say that. Yeah. So earlier you said when we started the conversation, you mentioned to me that you're not wanting. You obviously, if we can get it done May 1st, we couldn't. But we know that's impossible. But right now, you just said that you don't know yet as far as where the next step is. Does that contradict the time? Of what? Like to what after you sell the property? Where I'm moving? Yeah. I've got a place. I got a place to go immediately. Oh, got it. Okay. I'm just talking about. It's not that I'm going to be sitting here for a month. I understand. Here's where I know what you're asking me. You want to know how long is it going to take me to get out of here? All right. Here's the deal. If we can make a deal, no, just be straight, dude. I'm a straight shooter. I won't ever bullshit you. No, I love that. I love that. I know you're a straight shooter, man. I love it. So, what we're wanting to do is once I sell the house, I want to have the money obviously in the account because I'm gonna need 2 weeks to what is it called? Get the pod. Okay. They're 2 weeks behind on the pod. So let's say I sell. What I don't want happening is I sell this house to you, and then I order a pod. And then you go south on me, and then I'm paying for a pod and a empty house that I can't. Then I would have to. Do you see where I'm coming from? Yeah, it sounds like that's happened before. Never, but I don't want it happening. Got it. That's what I'm trying to say. Makes sense. Look at the future before I look, because I know how investors are. You do whatever the podcast, and you're in the business. You people buy commercials off of me all the time. I know massive realtors and massive. That's why I'm doing this on my own. I have the realtors want to sell this house for me. I don't feel like giving them 10, 20,000. That's a joke as far as I'm concerned. That takes money out of my pocket when I can hit the price I want. Like when they'll tell you, oh, well, you know, you can get a realtor and I can sell it to you for that. But well, if you can sell it for that price, so can I. Yeah. You see where I'm coming from? So that's there is no niches. We don't owe any. We owe money on the house, but that'll be done on the deal. But my biggest deal is if you guys, I mean, my part is if you guys are real serious, I'm going to be asking for a decent deposit. Sure. Then I know a non-refundable deposit. Decent? So yeah, decent one. Not something that's going to just I'll give you a few thousand and you could lose a few thousand. I want somebody that's seriously ready to buy the house, and I'm willing to sit down, dude. I'm the easiest sale. Sure. I know you guys got to make money, but I also got to protect my family. No, I get it, man. It's got to be what I call it is a win-win situation, right? And at the end of the day, I'll be very transparent. Like, let's pretend I even go out there and and we have a great conversation. And at the end of the day, I don't buy the house. That's fine, right? Because it doesn't always work out. I still like you, brother. You're a salesman. Yeah. I'm not gonna get pissed at you if you don't buy the house. I've even told a couple of people that. I don't give a damn. I was telling my friend that. You want to call? He's an investor. He goes, well, I buy commercial properties. And I'm like, well, that's fine. He goes, but if we did a deal, we might not be friends. And I'm like, dude, I'm not like that. You either want it or you don't. And even if you undercut what I mean, that's business, brother. We just didn't come to an agreement. We move on to the next deal.
100%.
That's how I am.
And just off the record, what are you looking at? Like, as far as deposit, what would you feel comfortable, getting?
Probably 25,000. Because that would mean you're very serious.
Okay.
I'm being legit, right? I mean, if you were going to buy the house, it's just going to go towards the deal anyway.
So the way I look at it this is something that I always tell sellers, right? Because, man, you should see like the stuff that's happening out there. And obviously, you know this very well. I always tell sellers, when they don't sell to us because obviously the price doesn't work out, I give them 3 things to look for. And one of those is a deposit. And one of them is proof of funds. And the other one, it's, the inspection period situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's exactly why I want the 25,000. Because I know when inspections, and that's when I've already briefed this with all the investors. I know this. So that's what we would be asking is for a $25,000 deposit. Yeah. And then you could do your investors or not your investors, your inspectors and all that. Yeah. I don't really care. And then if the deal, because the way I look at it, if I sign a contract with you, then I'm tied up for 5 days or whatever it is. Right. Well, waiting for an inspector. And from what I'm being told, from a lot of my friends, that's when the deal goes south because they're looking, they don't even need inspectors. 99% of the time they use that as an excuse.
No, 100%. One thing about the 25,000 is not a problem. The problem would only be that, as far as the non-refundable, it would have to be where as long as the title is transferable, right? That has to make sense because
that's not a problem.
Because if it's not transferable,
I would do absolutely. Well, isn't that in the contract?
It is. Yes, it is.
So yeah. So, that would be in the contract, I'm sure. And then there's things in my contract that I want.
Of course.
So,
okay.
But, we can get into that if you really, really want to buy the house. Yeah. But at least I'm the easiest sale for people. I really am. And it really is because I know sales and I know how you guys work and all. The point is just coming to an agreement on the number. And then everybody's, like you said, everybody's happy on both sides.
Yeah, no problem. So it sounds like you would, obviously we're not doing anything on the phone today. You feel more comfortable. I can come out, obviously I don't know what the property looks like.
You can come out tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So is there any other time besides that? Because I do have something at 9 tomorrow. And
what, 11?
Actually, 11 would work. 11. Let me pull up my calendar real quick just to make sure that I don't want to, because I know for sure I have something at 9. What about let's see. What about 11:30? Would that work?
Yeah, let me put you down here. 11:30. Cool. Give me your name again. I apologize.
No, it's all right. It's all good. Max,
right?
Yeah,
Max?
There we go.
I just wanted to make sure.
Like Mad Max. You know Mad Max?
Of course I do, dude. That's where we're moving.
Are you?
With the times we're going.
Oh, yeah.
No, I just said
we're moving I know.
With the damn politics, brother.
That's funny that you say that because I always say that. Like, I go to certain locations and I'm like, this reminds me of the movie Mad Max.
Dude, it's just, it really is. And it's sad because, you sound a lot younger than me, which is fine.
Yeah.
But the country that I know, I don't give a fuck about color. I don't give a dude. When I grew up, I'm from New York originally. Yeah. We had I call it breed. I'm an Italian, so I'm a breed too. But the thing is, every type of person, it didn't matter if you're white, black, Puerto Ricans I hung out with, or Asians. We didn't even, dude, it wasn't like it is today.
Yeah.
Where it's so controversial, we're all Americans.
Yeah.
And that's where we need to stick together as a team and as a unit to save our country and our children.
Oh,
the shit they're doing, bro, in the schools right now. Dude, I'm a ex-rock star. Believe me, I love women. I really do. But the point is when you're fucking with kids and like with all the gay stuff and the trans stuff, that's been going on, dude. I'm almost 60 years old. That's been going on even back when I was starting out in the rock and roll industry. But when I don't have a problem, like per se, with it But when you're pushing it on children, I have serious problems.
No, I get it, man.
That's just where I'm coming from, man.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. So then tomorrow at 11:30 works. I just put it on my calendar.
Beautiful.
Cool. Is there anything you can think of that will stop us from meeting tomorrow at 11:30?
Not even close.
Got it.
So, like, did I tell you also it's got like a 5-year-old roof?
No, tell me about it. Well, tell me more about it.
Okay, let's talk, brother, so you feel better about coming. Because I know we start talking, and that's what always happens with salesmen. I always take them for a spin. I do, man. I wish I had my crew in here. They'd be laughing. But no, I like talking to you because I get to know you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a trained 13-year-old air conditioner. It runs fine. There's not a damn thing wrong with it.
Okay.
5-year-old roof. We got a fireplace, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We got like the fireplace goes into the the dining room and the living room. It's like one that it's in the middle of so both rooms see it when it's lit. It's gas.
Okay.
And you're going to need to put a kitchen in and a master bathroom because, I mean, they're like 1970s. It's like watching Bewitched. And
so
man.
So really quick, Paige, when you say you need to put a kitchen in, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's a 1970s kitchen.
Okay. So the whole kitchen?
I mean, that's, yeah, pretty much. And then the bathroom in this bathroom, the bathroom in the other bathroom is got tile up the wall and it's got the jet bath and the whole 9 yards.
Do I have to take off any wallpaper?
In the kitchen, you would.
I knew it, man. That's why I wanted to ask that.
Well, I answer you. I don't
I know,
lie. I
just
tell
kidding.
you the truth. I could sit here and go, no, you don't. But why would I do that? You know, I'm giving you the. What else? The yards. My property. I know you guys do a square foot and all that crap. But the bottom line is, it's the land. I got a massive backyard, decent front yard size. The landscaping's not that bad.
Okay.
And,
well, I mean, tomorrow I'll look at it in more detail, when we meet, and then we can talk a little bit more and then get into
absolutely, brother. But I just wanted to give you an idea, so you got an idea. You might not have wanted to come out, but you still want to come out, so that's perfect with me.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Well, Paige, I appreciate the transparency, and I will see you tomorrow at 11:30. Okay.
You got it. Have a good day, brother.
All right, sounds good. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay. All right, bye bye.
He went from like coming in like Thor, and then basically we ended up having a great conversation, and he apologized. Now, guys, I'm not doing that to, say like that's what I want people to do, but you got to understand the personalities of people that you're talking to, right? You have to make sure that if you're talking to a grandma, make sure that you slow down and you talk to them really slow. If you're talking to a driver like himself, you got to make sure that you're up and that your tonality changes. The only thing you have to be careful is that you don't overpower them because you're going to get hung up on. You need to make sure that you match the intensity. I don't know how many of you actually were, I don't know how much you guys caught off that call, but I asked them, hey, you're a straight shooter. Usually I tell people all the details, I break it down, or do you want me to just give you the bullet points? And he's like, just shoot straight, right? And that got him really comfortable to continue the call. So let me see what's so we'll see. I mean, I think he said 650. I mean, the guy obviously wants somebody to come out. He's not going to do anything over the phone. And so we'll see. I'll go out there. I don't have nothing going on tomorrow at 11:30, so I'll go out there, talk to him, and then I'll see, what we can get him down to, in regards to that. But he's ready to go. Honestly, it just matter now. What I'm looking at in the area is, I'm looking at some comps for 650 or 750, 735. So there's one for 735. There's another one for 750. And actually, his is a little bit bigger. His house is actually almost the same, 1,400 square feet. So we might be too far off, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see. This one was bought by an LLC. This is the only one that scares me. It's sold for $698, 1,600 square feet. I need to do a little bit more research to see what's going on, why that one sold for $698. A lot of times what happens when they sell for, in that range, there's usually some type of agreement. A family member sells to another family member, and it's really low, honestly, to be completely transparent with you. But again, I'll go out there, talk to him, see what's up. He is definitely wanting to sell. You guys heard that if it was up to him, he wouldn't be making the May 1st mortgage. But obviously, it's impossible to do anything. But actually, what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna plug this in because I am running out of power. All right, cool. So I'm back. So I'm gonna answer a couple of your questions, and then also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at some of the comments. So let's see. Let's go back to let's see who's on here. Where do we leave off at? Okay, so Manny, what's up? Says loving this engagement. That's Elias. Sorry, Elias. Thank you for that comment. I think this is Probionic Junior. Says, man, this is huge value. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Thank you. Heim said he's at a 9. Yes, he came in at a 9, and he came in like fast and furious, right? Like he was, look, get to the point, this and that. And you guys notice my tonality. Like at first I wasn't matching him. I was more letting him be who he is. And then I hit him like, bam. Right. So you have to be careful with that. Let's see. William Jennings says, you straight up got him to say sorry. Talk about the tables turning. Wow. Again, that's just knowing how to talk, how to ask questions, how to basically, making sure that with the personality that you're talking to, it's very important in sales to learn personalities, because that way you can approach the sale a certain way. So Haim again says, bringing him nicely to a 6 textbook. Haim, thank you, man. I appreciate that. We did get him down, got him comfortable. People love talking about what they do, about themselves. And you heard the guy, right? Like that, the first like couple minutes of the call, that's all we did was talk about him being a DJ. And so I moved to that as soon as he said that, like I'm latching onto that. I'm gonna latch out to that, so that way we can get the report building. Let's see. Martin Pacheco said, dropping gold nuggets. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Matt Smith said, you mirrored him well and matched tone. Yeah, that's what it's all about, is you got to mirror the personality, and then at the end, and also match the tonality as well too. Carlos said, laugh out loud. If he only knew he's in a live right now. Actually, Carlos, I was getting ready to tell him, but he just kept talking. I'm not afraid to tell him, but he definitely, I told him we do a podcast. As a matter of fact, I'm doing one right now with you. But he just kept talking. I don't want to interrupt him. So, let's see. Real estate investment says, fantastic report building. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Matt Smith says, I love how you say sounds like or feels like. Yeah. I mean, those words, that's Chris Voss, right? If you guys haven't read the book, Never Split the Difference, I highly recommend you to go read that book. Habidi say, great report building. Thank you, Habidi. I appreciate it, bro. Send us some leads so we can call your leads. Let's see. Eldon Rey says, great call. Thank you for that comment. And then Snap Investment says, good stuff, Max. Tons of value. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. A couple new comments came in. Anthony Muhammad says, great call. Max is great at controlling the call and being himself. At the end of the day, that's what you got to be, right? I do go into a role a little bit depending on who I'm speaking with. But the bottom line is I'm not coming in to be somebody I'm not. I don't lie to these people. I don't lie when I'm on the phones. I don't tell them that I can do this when I can't do that. I just tell them the truth. And then what I want to know, really what I want to know is, what are they saying? I want you to clarify statements. I want you to clarify what you're saying, what you're asking, right? I'm not here to guess. I'm not here to, I understand, and then move forward to unnecessary things. So, Evan Lane says, will the EMD affect the purchase price you give him? Not really. If it's a deal, we don't care. Like, we've released, there's been times when we had to not only put down large amounts of EMD is the earnest money deposit for those of you that are watching. We've had situations where we had to put down, I think the last time we had to put down $10,000, non-refundable, not only non-refundable, but it had to be released to the seller, right? Now we do that, and the way we get covered is we basically write up a deed of trust and we put it against the property. But it was a great deal. We didn't care. Like the deal was solid. We made probably on that deal, I want to say 35 or 45,000, right? So if the deal's good, like who cares about the EMD? Now, when you're starting out, that might be a situation where you're going to be like, well, I can't do that. This is when you got to partner with someone like ourselves, right? You got to, let us know what kind of deal you got. You can collaborate with us and we'll be able to help you out. So that's what we want to do on the show, not only so you can see how we're talking to sellers, but that way you can collaborate with us and help you close those deals and get those deals across the finish line as well, too. Nathan, the last question here, Nathan from Nathan Faust says, how do you run comps when presenting the offer? Honestly, how do you run comps when presenting the offer? Well, I have, so this property is actually here in Phoenix, but we use the MLS for Phoenix or here in Arizona. When the property is outside of Arizona, we're using Batch and PropStream. We use both of those. Sometimes we'll go to Zillow because Zillow sometimes has pictures, but overall, we're using Batch and PropStream. So let's see. I got time for looks like we got one more person. Let's see who's ready right now. I'm gonna do another call because we have time, I think, for another call. So, and that's what we do here, right? We call sellers. So let's call. All right, we're gonna call this guy, Kenneth. Let's see what's going on with Kenneth. Hello, Kenneth.
Yes.
Hey, Kenneth, it's Max. I'm calling you because you spoke to one of my team members, Carl, about your property over on West Hidalgo.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, probably caught you at a bad time.
No, go. I'm at work. I got guys putting in a valve right now. We're heavy equipment hydraulic mechanics.
Oh, okay. If you
That's just an everyday event. That's just simple shit.
Got you. Well, you prefer me to call you back a little later?
No, go ahead. What do you need? What can I help you with? I'll let you know what I'm thinking.
Okay, perfect. So you have a couple of minutes.
I got an offer. Yeah, I got an offer from a guy in California that wants to trade me a half acre in Escondido, California, for that property down there in Levine. His dad has the adjacent property to it, and I guess the object, he's got a sister that's kind of not right, and he wanted to buy the property, put a house on for so they could have adjacent property, so they could have property hooked to each other. And he got a piece of property down there, and I thought, well, I'd be interested. I used to live in Escondido.
Okay.
I've lived in Carlsbad, Escondido, Fallbrook, all over that area. I was in the Marine Corps.
Got it. And what's stopping you from signing with him?
I don't want to live there. Too much problems. My sisters would find out I'm doing something like that. One of them would want to go live there.
Oh, I see.
He said there's no house there. He said it's just a half acre, and it's right on. It's surrounded by avocado trees. So,
wait, I'm a little confused.
My one sister's a nut.
Sorry, Kenneth.
My one sister's a nut.
You said they want to buy your property, or they want to sell your property? I'm sorry.
No, they want to buy it.
Okay.
They wanted to trade me a half acre in Escondido for it.
Oh,
or cash,
I see.
depending on what I decide I want for it. At first I thought, hey, a half acre in Escondido, that's got to be worth quite a bit. And it is, but then I thought about my sister finding out about it, and the next thing I know, I'd literally have to let them live on it.
Okay.
It'd be one of those, there goes my property, there goes whatever I'm going to get out of it.
So it sounds like the only reason why you wouldn't go with them is because your sister is saying no?
Well, I don't want her in there. I had enough trouble with her. I gave her property. That'd be the second piece of property I've given her. When we broke up the farm down there in Bean, we had 462 acres. And my dad broke the property up and I got 462 and all the kids got 4, and they all sold out. And they all sold out like in the early 70s, back when it wasn't worth that much. Well, I held on to my 460 acres, plus I held on to that little piece right there on Hidalgo.
Okay.
And I still got the 460 acres down there.
Yeah. And what has you considering selling that one, the Hidalgo?
Yeah, I'd like to get rid of it.
No, what has you considering selling that one? I mean, you owned it for a while.
I grew up right there on that piece of property. I was a teenager when we bought it back in the 60s.
Yeah, I mean, what has you considering selling it?
I just don't need it.
Okay.
What the hell? I'm not there. Property's just people living off and on it all the time. I pay the taxes on it and everything else, and I just shit. I don't want to do that. I just want to walk away from it.
Yeah. Okay.
My sister wants to live there, and I don't want her there either. So that's that. If she moves in down there, I'll be paying the electric bill, the water bill for her. I'm not just the taxes. I have to put a house on it for that. I'm not doing it.
But that's your sister, man. What's going on there?
Hell with her. She had plenty of opportunities her entire life. She's had a golden spoon.
Oh, wow.
All she ever did was do drugs, chase men around, and have children. And now she ain't got none of it. So screw her. But she does do drugs. So I'm not involved.
Oh, sorry to hear that. That's how long has that been going on?
Oh, shit. She's what? She's 68.
Wow.
She's not as old as me. I'm older than her by far. But yeah, anyway, I won't talk about her. Okay, but anyway.
No, you're good. Yeah, okay. And so I'm looking at this property online right now. What is it? A house, a mobile home? What's the situation?
No, there's a little house there that I built, and it's a living room with a bedroom with a bathroom in the little house. Now the other thing you're looking at is a tin building. Yeah. And that's a shop. It's on a 4-foot high piece of concrete. And the concrete is, I think it's 24 by 70.
Okay.
And it's on that. And that's 4 feet elevated off the ground.
Got it. Yeah, because I'm looking at
it's got a lift in it. It's got an overhead crane. It's got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the Google Street View, and obviously that doesn't always show me everything. And where's the house? Is it behind that the shed?
No, to the right of it. If you look at the house, look at it from the street down. It's the little house is right there. You can't see it from all the junk my little brother's got in there, and all that's got to go. So
yeah,
just call in a record, tell them tow every bit of it out of there. I don't want it.
You don't want it?
Use for it.
Okay.
Hell no.
So what we've done, that's an interesting point that you bring up, because I know some we've done in the past before is that, when we buy properties, usually we always tell, sellers that, take whatever's valuable and basically you can leave whatever you want. And it's actually helped them out quite a bit. Is that something that would help you out as well?
Yeah, get rid of it. I was just going to sell it as it is. I've had a lot of people say they take it, clean it up, and everything. I got my one neighbor over there's a scrap dealer. He said, "I'll haul it all the scrap, and I'll give you a little bit of money." I said, "Well, we could do that. Let me decide when I'm going to sell it." And I just haven't done it. He got a forklift and a couple of dump trucks. He got a couple of flatbeds. So I'll load every one of those cars up and shit, and all the metal. And right down the road, just a quarter of a mile away, is scrapyard, the iron factory.
Okay.
No, take every bit of it.
All right. So, yeah, I'm looking at this and trying to figure out. I mean, just ballpark off the record. What were you looking to get for this?
I was offered $90,000 for it.
$90,000?
That's what I was offered.
What stopped you from signing with
the
them?
Other day. For one, I don't like the guy. He's my neighbor. I've never got along with him. He's always been an asshole to me. Oh, they wants to buy something off of me. He wants to make a deal, and I don't want shit. It's a good deal. I just don't want to sell to him.
Yeah.
He's the one that offered me a piece of property in Escondido, and I don't want that either. So,
man. So what do you want?
I don't need a lot of money. I'm already a multi-millionaire. I was offered $62 million the other day for my property down there in about 460 acres.
Okay. Well, you didn't want to sell to the Escondido guy. You didn't take the $90,000. So what would you want?
No. I don't know. Make me an offer. Anything's better. I'm not going to take it. The $90,000 is a good price. I would normally take it from anybody, but not from him.
Not from.
He just all of a sudden he came up with a bunch of money. He recently was in some kind of got a settlement from the city of Phoenix for I think $5.5 or $11.5 million because he got roughed up by some cops
Mhm.
When he was coming out of a Circle K, they thought he was a robber, and he's 82 years old. They beat him up, threw him on the ground, and
Oh,
he didn't do
wow.
anything. So he sued them.
Yeah.
It never made the newspaper. It never made the news.
Well, of course not.
And this happened like 5 months ago, and he already got his money.
Yeah. Wow. And then he
They
came
don't
and then
want
he,
that shit in the newspaper.
and then he came to you to offer you 90,000 for the property?
Yeah.
Hmm.
He wants to he wants property. It's adjacent to his property,
Mhm.
and he wants to do it in a way where he can knock his property down and whatever's on the property I sell him. And then he can put a house there for his daughter because she needs help. She's kind of retarded. And then he can have a nice house for him and a guest house for a nurse to stay there. I heard the whole story from his cousin who lives down the street from him and me.
Okay.
They're all the same neighborhood. About everybody down there is related to somebody down there.
Yeah. I know 90,000 cash. I'll be honest with you. I'm not. I won't be your buyer on this.
Okay, well, thank you for calling.
Yeah, but I do have one more question for you before we do hang up. What we've done in the past whenever it's a little high, other sellers when they're open to us making payments to them, you probably wouldn't consider anything like that.
Well, it depends on how much the down payment is.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. It depends. What?
On how much the down payment would be on it.
Okay. What would you feel comfortable with?
Oh, hell, I don't know. I could talk to my cousin. She's a realtor and a lawyer and everything else. She'd give me some money. Why don't you call me back in a couple days and I'll let you know. I'm not selling it to him, so just figure it that way.
Because here's the thing. Because it sounds like you don't need the money. You're a millionaire, and maybe potentially pay you the 90,000 and make you payments. I would definitely like to have that conversation with you.
All right, go ahead. Give me a call back in give me a week. Call me back in a week.
All right. So today is Thursday. So you're Wednesday or Thursday of next week?
Next Thursday.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when I call you next week on Thursday, what's that conversation going to be like?
Hell, I don't know. Right now, I don't know what I'm doing right this second. Look, I got to get back to my guys that are working in front of me, and I got to watch what they're doing. We're doing a hydraulic job. We're swapping out valves. So call me back next week, and I'll talk to you then. I got to go. Goodbye.
All right, guys. So I just hung up on him. I knew it. I knew from the beginning because he said he was at work. I didn't want to, I shouldn't have continued with the conversation, but it was good. It was good overall. Got him to talk a lot. But I knew he wasn't going to be in a position, and I wasn't going to walk him through the whole, a creative thing on this call. But he's definitely he's definitely at work, and he's got, things going on. So, but maybe we could pick it up. I'll have Carlos. Sorry, he uses Carl when he talks to sellers. But I'll have Carlos follow up with him so we can get him down to an appointment. He's definitely open to talk about making a payment. Sounds like the down payment is something that he wants to discuss, which is great. And maybe we can get this property because 90,000. I mean, the one next door actually sold for 70,000. And so. But that one has a house, man. It's a night and day. I mean, we're talking. You can see here on your screen. That one has a house sold for 70,000 less than 6 months ago, and his is just I don't know what his is. There you go. You guys can get a picture of it. Yeah. He says there's a house there. I don't know if there is or not. But there you go. I don't know if there's a house there or not. That's why. But I mean. The cool thing is that it is it's in an area where they are building new houses, as you can tell from over here on the right side. But if I can get it on payments and we can scrap everything, sell it to the scrapyard, and then maybe put a mobile home on it, that might work. But so I'll have Carlos follow up with him. That was a really good call, though. Got him to open up. There are some questions about this call, which are great, by the way. I want to answer them. Actually, Rifer Boy says, I guess this was from earlier. How does your transaction coordinator explain the closing process to the seller? They walk them through the steps. That's it. Here's the next step is the first thing that we need to do is get things in writing, right? And just walk them through the steps. Don't confuse the seller. Give them 1, 2, 3, the top 3 steps. The last thing that you want to do is overwhelm the seller after they had a conversation like they did with me. Simplify it. Put things in writing. Going to take it to the title company, attorney. We're going to open up escrow. We're going to deposit the earnest money, right? The EMD. And then what's going to happen is that proceed and basically closing the deal. And that's it, right? Don't try to complicate it too much. All right. So Matt Smith said, I guess this is due with this call. Is she part of the decision selling? Oh, okay. It didn't sound like it. He was like, screw her and this and that. Even though there was some sentiment in there, he got kind of sentimental about it. Which was interesting, by the way. He came up pretty hard at her, and then towards the end, he was like, "Oh, I just don't want to talk about her." I don't think she's part of the I don't think she's going to be part of the decision making process. But definitely, there's a little bit of a role there. Floyd Fajardo says the way you navigate the conversation is legendary. Thank you, bro. I don't think I'm doing anything special. All I'm doing is talking to sellers and calling them out, saying, right? I mean, obviously, there's some skill, there's some strategy behind it. But at the end of the day, you got to feel comfortable asking the hard questions. I always say you guys aren't comfortable doing that, right? You get too caught up in trying to convince someone and trying to plead your case on why you want to make an offer at 50. The problem is so I can basically give my solution. If there's no problem, then I'm not giving my solution. Let's see. Corey said, blah, 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 whatever. And then what happened, he got really... And typically when someone tells me that, I don't continue, went decent. Right? Got him to tell him that I wouldn't be his buyer at 90. He wanted to hang up. Said, hey, I have one more question for you. Would you mind if I make you payments? And basically he said, well, depends on down. So he's negotiable. He's willing to have that conversation. He's just not in a good position right now to have that conversation. Matt Smith said, so he said he wants 90. Should you counter lower? Good job. Good job at letting him just talk. Yeah, I mean, I can always counter him for sure. I could have countered him. Like I said, I really, the position he was in, I didn't really want to do a lot of negotiating, just because what he told me where he was at. But definitely, definitely, what is it called? I could have done that for sure, Matt. We could have said, hey, I can only offer. It looks like other investors in the area are paying basically, it looks like other investors in the area are paying between X and this. What would happen next? But again, the guy doesn't need money. There's not a lot of pain there from what it sounds like. He's a millionaire, right? So let's see. Anthony Mohammed said, this seller is hilarious. Great question on why did you not take the 90K? Max is throwing gems. Much respect on your skill set. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. It's true, right? We call this flexing, right? Sellers will flex on you. I have an offer right now at $150,000. My house is the best. Already talking to 3 other people that made me offers. Perfect. That's awesome. What's stopping you from signing with the $150,000? Hey, your house sounds like it's in great condition. How come you don't list it on the market? That's what happened last week. Remember with the other seller? Last week, that seller flexed on me and basically told me how great his property was. And I knew he wasn't going to go down on the price. So I said, okay, I'm assuming you have an agent that you love working with. He's like, no, I don't have no agent that I love. So we got him to list with one of our preferred agents. Let's see. DC did it. Says, got my first house under contract. Would you mind helping me to see if I really have a deal? Yes. Can you guys put my Instagram on here so DC did it can send me a DM? I love to help you, bro. Let's find out if you got a deal. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna have Ryan, who is part of my team. He's gonna send me a DM, and then I'll have him reach out to you. You can actually, they just put the email on the screen there if you want. So that way we can get the details, or just shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram. So, and then I'll answer the last. So we got to talk to 3 sellers. We got some really good outcomes. And honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with the first call. Was great. Second call, we'll see what happens tomorrow. This call could potentially turn into a, something creative where we can make payments to him. But definitely great calls. One thing that I want to say is that whenever you're on calls and you basically, whenever you're on calls and you're talking to sellers, I always say this: get out of convincing mode and move into sifting mode, right? And the way you do that is by understanding, do you have an engaged prospect or do you have a dead prospect? Because at the end of the day, if you have a prospect that's not willing to answer your questions, that's not willing to engage with you, then you have a dead prospect. You don't have an engaged prospect. So move on. Don't try to convince those people to talk to you. And you guys saw that, right? With the second call, the guy was pretty aggressive. So with that being said, guys, thank you very much for joining me on the live calls on the Closers Lab. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. And the only thing that I ask, we don't charge for this. The only thing that I ask is that you share this with someone that you know can benefit from these calls, that will learn, that wants to learn how to get better. So if you can do that, one favor for me is subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and also share this with someone you know that can use this. That would be extremely helpful for us, so we can get the word out there, so people know so people will know and learn how to close deals and talk to sellers. And as you guys know, what do we do here on the Closers Lab is we talk to sellers live. We're going to start to break down deals here soon. But also, don't forget, we also want to collaborate with you. We have a show called Club Collab, and what we do on there is we want to collaborate with you to help you. We're not just saying send us your deals. We're showing you what we can do and how we can help you, and we want to collaborate with you. So reach out, send me a DM, or send us an email at deals@maxcashoffers.com. And yeah, guys, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate you, and until next time, peace.
One of the greatest guys I've ever met, huge inspiration. You know, the advice he gave me made me like $50,000 in 1 hour. A super fucking human, he just doesn't give up, he doesn't quit. He's one of the most well-known salespeople out there, sales trainers in the fucking country. Very impressive guy. Give it up for my guy, Max and CERRADOR. Jimenez, baby!